Hey everybody, this is Sheila with Designs by Baby Moon, and I'm working on a little bit of digitizing tonight. Usually I do my digitizing in the morning, and that's when I'm fresh and I've got my coffee. But it's late on Sunday night and I had an idea, and so I thought rather than doing this by myself, I thought I would bring you along with me. So I'm going live using StreamYard. If you don't mind and you want to comment, if you will go to www.streamyard.com and give them permission to show me your name, I'll be able to see on the stream here any comments or questions that you have, if you have any, and I can answer them live here. If not, use the hashtag replay and in the comments, and I'll be sure to go back and answer your questions later. So I'm going to bring you into my software. I'm using Embrilliance Stitch Artist Level 3, and what I'm digitizing are some freestanding lace earrings. Now, these are kind of silly, so I'm thinking about a UFO with a cow. So, like little dangly earrings. So, I know it's, I don't know why these things pop into my head. I wanted to do astronauts and ninjas today, and I just couldn't get there, and I thought, let's do the UFOs. So, that's what I'm doing. Oh, I can see Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Glad you're here. So let me share my screen with you, and then you can see and you can follow along with me and, just see what I do. Hope no matter where you are, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, just share your name with StreamYard. That way they can tell me who you are. So let's see. Let me share the screen. I'm going to share this window over here. I just opened my Embrilliance Stitch Artist. Let's see. Okay, I just want to make sure you can see that. And let me double check right here. If you can see that, rather than doing this by myself, okay, I can see it here and I can see my screen. So that's great. We can keep going. Okay, so what I have here is I have the Stitch Artist screen open, and let me zoom this in so you can see a little bit better. I've got a 4x4 hoop selected, and I'm working on one side of the hoop because when I'm doing freestanding lace earrings, I try to digitize at the size that they're going to be in real life. So sometimes I have to adjust that because I get, I forget what an inch is, and so something that should be 2 inches comes out 3 inches and it's too big. So I try to use the guidelines on the screen. I have my guides set in standard inches. Sometimes I'll do centimeters, but right now I have it on inches because I know that I want these to be no longer than 3 inches long. So they're going to be dangly, and they're going to have like some pieces dangling. I don't know if there's going to be 2 dangles or 3 dangles. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I started drawing a little UFO, and so I've got this shape here. I've got this shape for this top, kind of like a window dome. I don't know. I've never seen a UFO. Maybe you have. Maybe you know better than I do. But this is like a little bulb. I imagine that maybe a little alien guy's in here. And then this part is the main saucer of the UFO, if they're saucer shaped. Flying saucers. I don't know. It's kind of retro looking. I thought it'd just be kind of fun if the aliens don't like it and you don't hear from me in a couple of days. It's probably because they took me. They're like, you're misrepresenting us. So anyway, I've got this little shape right here, and I think this is about this little shape here. I can see at the bottom of the screen, it tells me that that selected one is about 1 3/8 inches wide. So that's not quite 1.5 inches wide. So I think that's a good, let's scooch him a little bit. I think that's about a good size. So I'm trying to keep everything kind of lined up on this 1 inch line that's inside the grid, because if I need to keep my earrings within 2 inches, then if I keep them in the center there, I can kind of tell that I have a little bit of room on each side. So I'm not taking up the whole 2 inches. When I get done with one earring and I'm building the whole file, I may have, them at a different position on the hoop so that they'll save closer to the middle of the hoop. But where I'm working to build it, I build it over so that I can use kind of those quadrants or those grid lines on my screen to help me stay right there. Stay in my lane. So Let's add some stitching to these because I don't really know how this is going to turn out. So, oh, you know what? Let me finish sketching out the little pieces that I thought I might want. So I wanted kind of like you know, in the sci-fi movies when the aliens ship sends out a tractor beam and then it grabs something and pulls it up. That's the look I'm going for here. So I need to draw that tractor beam kind of image, and I thought it'd be fun to maybe have it as a dangly part underneath there. So let's get that tractor beam. It's supposed to be a triangle. As you can tell, I am not really a drawer. Like, I don't draw, I don't doodle, but on the screen, I can kind of make some shapes that look like things. So it is drawing, and the program is called Stitch Artist, but it's more like silly ideas in my head rather than fine art for art. Vanette's here. Hey, Vanette. I was thinking about you yesterday. I owe you a phone call, so I'll do that this week. It's been crazy. Anyway, yeah. So, Vanette, I'm drawing a UFO. I don't know why. I don't have good reasons for this. I just wanted to do it. Okay, so there's the tractor beam area, and then I wanted him to be taking a cow. I don't know why. I thought it'd be funny. And so I have a cow that's already drawn that's a snap tab, and it's kind of like just a little bitty cow. And so I think I'm going to go grab that little cow. Lori's here too. Hi, Lori. I'm going to go grab that cow because I've already done the outline and I can put some spots on him, and I think that will work. So let's go grab the cow because I've already done the work to get him in. So I'm going to open up a file that has that cow in it, and it's in my tags, and it's actually a cow tag, which is the shape of those cows that they put them on the cow's ears. I'm going to open that up so I can grab that cow out of there. So see, there's the cow shape, and he has a tail. I don't know if the tail's going to work, but let's grab all of it. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it over here, and it's going to be too big, but we can work on it. But I've already got the outline drawn. Do you see? So I don't have to do much else to draw that cow. And I can tell already that this tail piece that's not really going to matter. So I'm just going to delete that because we don't really need that. And just to make it more cow-like, I'm going to change this to brown. That's not really brown. Let's change him. What color is our cow friend here? Let's make him white. Okay, so in my head, this tractor beam is purple. Again, I don't know why it's purple, but it is. So let's give it a nice purple. And I think I'm going to do this in metallic thread because I think it'd be super fun, wouldn't it? So there's the purple, and then the dome part of the spaceship, I think let's leave that white, and then let's make this one silver because I do want to do this part in silver thread. I thought that would be cute. So let's pick a gray. It's just so I can do it in silver. Okay, so let's move up earlier. So we've got three pieces here. We've got the cow, the tractor beam, and the UFO, the little ship. And so the first thing they need is some loops on them. So I'm going to draw with points. I'm grabbing just a line, and I'm making the line there. And I'm going to put it, I kind of want it to be right. So it's not even a complete circle. It's just a little loop. I want these points to be touching, get that thing. And then I need a loop on the bottom here because I want to be able to connect these with jump rings. So I got to have a loop on the top and the loop on the bottom of each of these pieces. This loop got a little wackadoodle, so let's fix him. And I kind of want him to be, they don't have to be exactly the same, but I like them to be as similar as possible. Okay, so there's a loop for this one. Let's get him. There we go. Round out that side a little bit more. Okay, so we've got a loop for the top and bottom of our UFO. So that one's going to go up there. So this is going to go first. There's our bulb, then the disc or the saucer, then the bottom. The thing, here's our tractor beam piece. And I suppose it doesn't need to be that large. Let's make it a little bit skinnier of a triangle. And we're going to put some texture in here so it looks like it's sucking him up. Does texture convey the idea of sucking something up into a spaceship? I don't know, but I think it would be good to have some texture there. My dog's barking. I wonder if she wants to go out or she wants to go in or she just wants somebody to snuggle with. I hear somebody playing with her, so maybe that'll... Nope. Hi. Come here. Do you want me to scratch her back? Nope. Okay. I'm not sure what she wants. She just came in, so I don't think she wants to go back out. But she may just be barking because I'm talking. That's possible. Okay, so our tractor beam needs, it needs a loop on top. So let's draw a loop on top. I'm just drawing with points again. And I'm going to draw a little loop there. And I'm going to move that one up in front of the top of that tractor beam in this object window. And then I'm going to draw a little loop on the bottom of it. I could copy and paste those, but I never do. I don't know why. And so there's a loop on the bottom. I need to reshape that a little bit because it looks a little whack. Okay, so there's a loop on the bottom of the tractor beam. And now we can move our cow down. Ooh, there's a lot of nodes. So he was a lot bigger and I shrunk him down and he had lots of nodes all around him. And so that's too many. So I'm going to go to create outline and see if I can, that does it better. That kind of gets rid of some of those nodes. I don't need all of those on there. And he's not really, I'm going to have to do some things to make him look like a cow because he looks like a cow kind of, but you know, we took his tail off and I want it to be a black and white cow. I thought about using a cow face, and then I thought, no, I want the cow body. I want the idea of the cow being caught by surprise and being, you know, lifted into the spaceship. So our cow needs some loops on it. Let's give him some loops. And his body is not lace, or her body. So none of these have any stitches applied to him except for this cow because I took this cow out of another design. So I just was using the shape. Now that cow's on the bottom, so he doesn't need a loop on the bottom, or she. The cow doesn't need a loop on the bottom of it because we're not going to put anything underneath the cow. And only because it's a cow. If we're putting anything underneath, it would look like udders, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to leave it as is. But I am going to put the loop on the top of the cow so it will stitch first, then the cow, then we'll do the outlines. Okay, let's work on the saucer because this is the part that I was really excited about. So on the saucer part of the UFO, I'm going to add some freestanding lace fill. So I've got my fill. I clicked the tool that gives me a freestanding lace fill. My density is 1.0. It's at the diamond setting, so it's a 60-30 angle for these corners inside. If I uncheck the diamond setting, then they're all 45-degree angles. And but I like the diamond setting when I'm doing freestanding lace lately. It doesn't really change the look. It just is. It makes me happy. So that's what I'm going to use. Now, the lace has to have a border around it. And so I usually use a satin stitch border. So I'm going to make a copy of the, I'm going to make a copy of this shape. But before that, I'm going to take this top shape, go ahead and give it some freestanding lace. And then, so I've got my UFO basically, and then we're going to add some details. So on this one, I can copy the whole thing and let that be my border. Now, I've been working with freestanding lace for a couple of days, so it kind of remembers what I was doing last time. The last time I was playing with freestanding lace, my border width was 1.8. I want to make this is supposed to look a little bit more silly, so I'm going to make the border a little bit thicker. I'm not real thrilled about the ends here, so I might change that one to a line. If I change it to a line or adjust it in some ways, I get a better shape at those ends there. But I can come back here and put some more of those round nodes to give my line a little bit more flexibility. So I usually work with those curved nodes or cusp nodes, but in order to get a crisp corner right here, I really want a line node right there so I can get that effect. So let me put another regular node there. And I think if I put that one there, it's going to be a curved node. So let's just fix that. Let's kind of straighten this out so it's right on top of that border for the lace underneath. And that has a little bit of a weirdness there. Let's see what we can do to fix that. These nodes have handles that adjust the way the line moves. Can you see that? When I pull that handle out, that line goes, wah. And so I can use that handle to change the effects, what's going on with the line. So that's what I'm doing there. And then this one doesn't have a handle on this side of the square because the square is telling this part of the line to be straight. So that's why I have this node, the circular node or the curve node up closer to the square. So I don't have like a long run of a straight line. I really want this to be a nice curve on the bottom. I'm just talking through the whole thing. If this is meaningless to you, that's okay. That's just what I do. I'm just talking through everything. I know there's been a big interest in people wanting to know how to do this. So this is me showing you how I do it and telling you all the things that I'm thinking through while I'm doing it, because there's some things that I kind of do automatically, but it's always good to remember, what I need to do, what needs to happen to keep this together. So I'm just saying all of the parts of it out loud. Okay. When I zoom out, we're way zoomed in. This is at 200%. So let's zoom out. So that's about 100%. Okay. So this is more what it would look like in real life. And I think it's going to be okay because I'm going to put some other details in that saucer area. So let's zoom back in so we can add some details, and then I think we're going to be okay here. So what I'm going to do is I want a band going around the saucer that has lights. Okay, so maybe Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't know. I don't know where I got these ideas. I didn't even see that movie. I just thought it would be cool to do a motif run that had these knots in it, and I want them to be kind of big, so let's make them a little bit bigger. 3 millimeters. They're all going to be 3 millimeters. It's going to start and end at 3 millimeters, and I don't really want much of a gap there. So let's go here, make it 1 millimeter for a gap. You can't really see them on there, so let's give that some color. And I'm thinking neon green. I mean, you were thinking neon green too, right? That color called Mountain Dew. I have some neon green. I'm really excited about using it. I wish I had a neon purple. I don't have a neon orange. Maybe I can make that into neon. Neon and metallic, that actually would be really fun. Okay, so those are my blinking lights on the saucer. I might want to turn these into, let's see what it looks like if I do a candle wick stitch instead of the French knot. Oh yeah, that's what I want. And those are at 3.5. So let me go back to 3. I'm changing all of these to 3. Yeah, that looks better. So that looks more sci-fi. Okay, I'm going to put another line of stitching up here at the top of the saucer. And this is just for texture, so it looks kind of curved. And I'm going to make that one a stem stitch, I think. It's coming in green because I just used green last time, but let's change it back to the gray just so it has a little bit of texture right there. And now I need to give, that looks good for the saucer part for me. I don't want to put too much in there because again, this is 1.5 inches wide. It's not big. And let's put all of this up at the top because this is all part of the saucer stitching. I'm actually going to put that texture run right there underneath the satin. So it'll stitch the saucer. And then I want it to end right. I actually want it to end where that stem stitch starts and then end over there. And then do the outline. So I'm going to put the start over here at the end of that line. Am I going to do that? Nope, because I have this loop down here. So I need to put the start down here. So after this line, I need to add a run so I can get down to that loop at the bottom. So let's click on him, and then I can just place some nodes to get me a run so I can get down to the part where the loop is going to start. that's going to be a single line, and it's going to be a little bit shorter. Stitches, 2.4 is good. And that way, what happens is it stitches the lace, it comes back and it stitches that one texture, then it's going to stitch the run, and it's going to run from that end of the texture line down to the loop. And then I want to go ahead and do the loop as a border that I'm going to make freestanding lace. Those are my settings for freestanding lace there. And I need to make it a little bit thinner. Let's make that 1.8 because that's what I always use. And it's white, and I want it to be white. I want it to be the same color as all that. So we'll change the one color, and then we're going to move this up because I want it to stitch first so that the ends of it are caught underneath the satin stitch run. Okay, so this is where I think that's right. Nope. It starts where the other one ends, and then this can end here too. Okay, so that little saucer piece, those are all set the way they are. I do need to come back and work on this edge because it's still not, this intersection right here is not making me happy. So I got to figure something out about that. Let's check that setting. Let's make this a 2.0. That's still not quite right for me, but let's move on so we can just do the rest of these. Okay, we've got the little, the loop at the top. So let's make that a satin border. Make sure that that's at 1.8. I want all these loops to be the same size because when we're stitching them out and you're putting them all together, if some are bigger than the other, they just look weird. So I don't want them to look weird. I want them to all be the same. So there's our loop at the top. Then our lace is going to stitch. So we're going to start over here and end right there. And then we need a border because the lace by itself won't hold up on its own. So we need a border, satin stitch border to stabilize the edge of the lace and to seal it up. Are you going to bed? Can I give you a hug? I'm live. Sorry. It's time for good night hugs. Suki, want to go out?
Get out of here, you dog. Get out of here.
Sorry. It's bedtime. Are you going to bed?
Get out of here.
I love you. Good night. Did you brush your hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you brush the back of it? Get those tangles out before you go to bed because they'll be worse in the morning. Okay. We're getting ready for bed. Okay. So this little border right here, I needed to start and stop both right there so it can seal up that edge. But I don't need a border around the bottom of it because the border for the saucer is already kind of functioning as the border for that top area. I just wanted a little bit texture. So I'm going to draw a line around there, and I'm really just following the line that's already there for the top of that saucer. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that it's kind of right on that line. I'm just adjusting those nose real quick. And then I'm going to give it some border. Okay, so that's 2.5. Let's make it 2.0 because the other one is 2.0. And then I want it to go up here. It actually happens before the saucer does. So in my stitch order, now I've got the loop at the top, the lace that starts and stops there. Okay. And then actually it could stop. If it stops over here and then it starts right there, that works out great. Okay. This lace, I don't want the machine to have to jump, you know, that's not real far. It's a 1/2 inch, but I still don't want it to jump very far. So I'm going to go ahead and start the next color, which will be silver, in that same spot where the other one ended. Okay. So now we've got the top saucer. I'm going to work on that edge because I think something's a little bit off on that left side, but let's keep going. Because I'm liking it so far. I think I'm liking it. Let's back out so we can kind of see. Yeah, I'm liking it. Okay, let's zoom back in and keep going here. Let's make our little, this is a border, satin border with freestanding lace underlay and that zigzag and parallel. I like that extra zigzag and that extra parallel at those settings because it makes the loop a little bit, I feel like it makes it's a little bit more stable. It has more structure, more, I'm trying to think of the word. It just feels nicer. When I don't add that underlay to it, they're floppy. And so this is one that already has it in there and it's nice and firm. So even though I've washed away most of the stabilizer, it still has a nice firm feel, especially if I add that extra underlay in there. Okay, so those are 1.8 millimeters. That's how thick that border needs to be. And then let's add the lace for that tractor beam. Okay, so since this is a tractor beam and it's supposed to be kind of translucent, I'm going to open up my freestanding lace, and I'm going to make this at 2. Oh, that's too open. I'm going to make it at, let's make it 1.8. Okay, and so this is more translucent of a piece, but it still has to have the border all around it. I could do it at the same density, but only have it as one layer. So with the double freestanding double setting on it, what happens is it'll stitch it. Let me go over here. It'll stitch 4 layers of one layer going down this way, then another layer coming up this way, then another layer going down, and another layer coming up of threads, so that you really have a nice mesh that's really held together. If you choose the single layer, it just goes across one time and then back up across the other. So you only have one layer of mesh, but it's really 4 layers of thread because you've got top and bobbin. So, but it's a little bit more translucent. So we can play with the density by either making it a single layer or by opening it up and making it a little bit less dense if we do the double layer. It's just we have lots of options here. So I think I'm going to make it less dense, and I don't need to make it, you can see my millimeters, 1.8 millimeters to 1 millimeter density. That's the distance in those holes, or the distance those rows of stitching are apart from each other. So it makes quite a bit of difference, even though you're not moving it a lot. You can move it really big. Like you can make your lace, I don't know why you'd want to do that, 10 millimeters apart. That's a whole centimeter, and that is some big openings, and I've never had the need to do that. So for me, just moving it a few parts of a millimeter apart makes it translucent enough. Maybe not quite that dense. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to make it about 1.5, and then I'm going to add a copy of this shape so that I can apply the satin border that holds it all together. So there's our satin border. Double check the underlay, and now we've got that tractor beam, and we need the bottom part to be that border as well. And we want them to all be the same color. So grab all 3 pieces, hit the color button, then hit one color, select that color that they all are. Now it's that color. Okay, so now I've got the top part, then the tractor beam. Let's start it where the loop ends, and let's end it down here so that this loop can start and stitch there. And then we need our satin stitch border to cover up the ends right there. And so I'm going to start that little satin stitch border right there where that one ends, and I'm going to end it right there too. That way it doesn't have to run back and forth too much. If they start and end at the same place, it works a little bit better. Okay, one of the other things that I like to do is double check that I'm not using a whole lot of colors, because when I have a whole lot of colors, if you have to change colors, if you're using a single needle on freestanding lace, I encourage people to change the bobbin color as well. And so it can get really fiddly, but this is kind of fiddly and silly. So, I mean, who knows? I don't know what people are going to like. I just wanted these. So if you like them too, that's great too. So anyway, I'll think about that in a minute. We'll think about all the colors and make sure we've got enough or too much. I don't like to go more than 5 or 6 colors, because I start getting crabby if I have to change bobbins that many times. Okay, this cow came in, and in the other design, he was a smooth tatami fill, and he was made for stitching onto vinyl. I can use that as a base for freestanding lace if I have underlay in it, which I don't think I did. Oh yeah, it had some underlay, but I don't want to. I want him to be the same lacy look as the other parts here, just for consistency with this set. So I'm going to change that fill. He was this, and I'm going to make him that freestanding lace double underlay. Now his angle on the tatami was going down this way. So it was like a 130-degree angle. When I'm doing the freestanding lace double diamond, I like my angle of inclination for that to be horizontal, just because it feels good to me to look at while it's stitching. So if I was stitching on fabric, I would not, there's hardly ever a reason why I would use a horizontal angle of inclination on a fill if I'm stitching on something like a shirt or a tag or something. I would usually have I like 30 or 40-degree angles, 35 or 40-degree angles, because I like to think of I'm backwards for y'all. I like to think of the stitches filling up from the bottom. This is my left, but filling up from the bottom right of the screen. This way, I like them to fill up through the thing. And that way it compensates for the way the fabric acts at the machine. There's not really a good way to explain that, but when you apply stitches to the fabric, or even if it's just stabilizer like we're doing here, the thread pushes the fabric out of the way. And so if the stitches don't fill in a logical manner, whatever you're stitching on, then you get weird warping, or you might even have a gap. It's not pleasant. And so I want it to be nice. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use the cow body here yet or a cow head. So let's keep thinking about that. But I'm going to keep going with this cow here. So this cow has legs, and you can see these legs have lots of nodes. So I'm going to zoom in and see if we can get rid of some more of those nodes. Now also the start and stop are here. So I know I need that 1.8 millimeter loop at the top of him. Double check these settings. Okay. And so I want him to start where the loop finishes. So he's got to start there. And this says he's going to end here. I got to think about his legs, because I don't think that it's going to like going down. There's 3 legs hanging down. So the idea of the second one is behind that other first leg. Hi, Lisa. It's nice to see you. I'm talking about how I'm digitizing a UFO earrings, sucking up a cow to space. I don't know why. I just am. Anyway, so I think we can give the idea of 2 legs in the back by taking out some of these nodes and then having a part of our satin stitch border for the outside of the cow create a little divider in there in between his legs. So I'm going to take out these nodes for sure, because the design is, the software is not going to like to fill that shape like that. I'm going to take out that node too, so I have kind of a flat area. And then we'll put I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll put a stitch here to kind of be a divider for those legs. Yeah, that's going to be too wide. See how wide that is? That's going to be too wide for that. Let's do a back stitch, and maybe the outline for the cow is black, because I want to put some black spots on him. So him. I don't know what kind of cow they want to take up in the alien thing. So I'm thinking of just a little black splooch on the back of this cow. That kind of looks like a saddle now that I think about it. Maybe I want to fix that a little bit. I don't know that people put saddles on cows. I was trying to think of like just like a cow spot thing. Maybe that one doesn't need to be there. Maybe it's not that big of a splooch on the back. Okay, that's sploochy. So we got a splooch, and we got to run and make these both black. That introduces another color. Maybe we can use some of the gray. We'll see. I'll keep going. And I'll go ahead and put the splooch here on his face, because some of those black and white cows have a splooch. So we got a splooch for his face. And let's give him an outline. So let's copy him and paste him and make the second one an outline. And it needs to be a satin stitch. And we're going to see if we can make those all black and if it's not too thick. It might be. I got to think about it. Let's think about it together. So I'm going to fill in these splooch areas with just kind of a sketchy fill stitch. So I don't need a lot. And this is little bitty. I mean, the whole cow is less than 1 inch. So it's an itty bitty piece. I just want it to be, I want you to be able to tell it's a cow. So I'm going to make that fill for those splooch areas about 8 points, and I want to make sure there's no underlay on them. None there, because I just want those to fill with a little bit of thread and shading to make them shady. Shady cow. It kind of looks like a cow. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom way out. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so what could happen here that I'm worried about is this, all these angles right here. So where these feet are, there's too many nodes down here. We don't need to live like that. We're going to take those nodes out. I'm going to take them out of the lace too, because they are not necessary. Oh, Lisa, you just finished making the reindeer and candy canes. How fun. I need to stock up on reindeers because I sold all of mine from last year and they were so fun. So I'm going to make some more, so I have some on hand. Let's see. And let's take out that node too. We just don't need them there. And if they're there, different kinds of nodes tell the machine to do different things. And so sometimes the needle can drop. If it's a cusp node, it will tell the needle drop here. The more places the needle drops, the more complicated the outline of the design is. And the machine has, the software does things. It's just part of it. Not bad things. It just does things that aren't necessarily needed when we're talking about this little bitty thing. So this little charm, it's a charm. Okay, so what I need to do is make sure that all this line and these splooches are all part of that satin stitch outline, so they all stitch together. And I think we could probably get away with, whoops, let's make this go down here. Let's make the loop, the top part of that, black too. So let's just change all of that to black. Okay, so that's black. That's not going to work in that section. That one, it can connect to that. So it can start and end there. And this one can start here and end there. And then it can travel. Let's draw a little traveling line so it can get to the other splooch. I've got to fix something right there because I don't know why it's doing that. So there's a little run so it can get to the face splooch. Did that earlier. This needs to be just a single run. It doesn't have 2.4 is fine. And then it'll start this one, go up, and then what's the shortest distance to get to that back leg? It's going to make sense just to come back down around this way. So just keep going that way. So we'll draw another line and we'll just follow the outline of the cow. And I'm just placing these little points along the edge. I really need to stay on top of that line. If they go too far in or out, you're going to see that line peeking out underneath the satin stitch. And I don't have a whole lot. It's only 2 millimeters wide, which is not a lot. But I don't want the chance of it peeking out. Let's go across the belly. I'm just placing nodes so I can keep that shape nice and close. I can get bigger here. And then here we are. That's where it's going to end, right there. And then that is a single run. Let's make that a single, 2.4. And that's great. And then it's going to start. Let's reverse those points. Create outline, reverse points. And now we've got our start and stops for that right there. And then our border could start right here down by the feet where the, that line ends. And it could end up here at the top. Let me double check the settings on it. Okay. It's a little thick right here. Maybe if I make this 1.9. So it's so thick right there. We don't really need a whole lot of lace there. Maybe if I pull this out a little bit and make it look, so those two legs, I need to do that with both the border and the lace that's underneath it. So now, oh, and I need to move that line too, because I had that line going down there. If I don't move that line, then you're going to be able to see it. It's going to peek out underneath. I have too many nodes in it, so we don't need all of those. We don't need all of those, so I'm going to take them out. Just excess nodes sometimes feel sloppy to me. So since we don't need them, they helped me get there, but I don't need them now that the line is already there. So let's take them out. And I could have, just played with my handles on that run, but I didn't. I just clicked. So now I have to unclick to get rid of them. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's back it out and let's look at it from a far angle. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Okay, now in this part right here, I wanted some more tractor beam kind of looking things. So I want some lines in it. So let me put some lines kind of going toward the middle and then coming back out. So just so I want it to be a little bit wacky. There we go. And what kind of texture do we want to put on that? Let's put a, let's see if we have room to make those. I don't think we do. I think those need to be stem stitches too. So here's the stems. Okay, so that's more texture. It's up here in this purple area, and so I want to make sure that it's purple. It might need to be green because we've got those green dots right here. What happens if we make it green? One color, make that all Mountain Dew. I think I like that better. So proportionally, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I still think it's fun. So our spaceship is roughly the size of our cow, and the tractor beam is much too small to suck up that giant cow into that tiny little UFO. But maybe the idea is close enough to the idea of, an alien. Sometimes what I do, let's see, sometimes I might need to reference something to see if this looks right to me. So I'm going to share, let me share another tab with you guys. So what I'll do is, let me stop this one, stop that screen. And I'm going to share a tab of my browser here, and I'm going to show you how I look for reference things. So here's Google. Okay, so I'm just going to go to Google, and I'm going to do, you can see what I was searching for today. This was our day. Let's see, I need a UFO picture, tractor beam with a cow. I don't know if that picture's out there. Probably it is. There's probably something like that. So I'm going to hit search. I'm going to click on the image button, and I hope that okay. That's what I was going for. I don't know how many of those are AI generated. Okay, yeah. But you can see the perspective is a little bit wacky on these two, because especially on this one, like look at that cow right there. That cow is half the size of that UFO, right? This one too. This one is more than half the size of that UFO, right? So that one, there's 3 cows that are going to completely fill up that UFO when they get sucked in. These two. Okay, I'm not far off. They only have 3 lights on their ship, and I have 5. I see something I want to do. Okay. That one's cute. That cow is much bigger than the ship. So I'm all right here. Their tractor beam. Okay, now that one is sucking up oh, it's a cow. Oh, I get it. It's a tractor sucking up an alien. That's funny. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, somebody's already got some earrings. They've got a planet, the UFO, and the cow is in the tractor beam. All right. That is interesting. Okay. Oh my gosh. Somebody's got a sun catcher for their window. That's hilarious. Okay. We could do this all day. I think this is actually going to work fine. So I want to, glow in the dark. Look at that one, says glow in the dark. Glow in the dark thread on that neon area would be so cool, wouldn't it? Okay. let's stop the silliness. Let me get back here. I'm going to stop that screen and let's go back to our Embrilliance, because those were some good ideas. Now, I didn't, those were good ideas. I don't always like use clip art. So this UFO idea came kind of out of my head, but the shape of it, like I had an idea of in my head of how I wanted that shape to be. And I might want to adjust that up or down a little bit just to make the saucer look a little bit different, because the perspective of those other saucers was more from the top instead of this is more from the side. And I want it to look more like that. So I'm going to take and flip this bottom area of the saucer, I think, and I think that'll make it look more like it's from the bottom. Okay, so perspective wise. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to take these texture pieces. You know what? I'm going to flip the whole thing. I'm going to flip all that silver part. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Siri, my watch picked it up and Siri thought I was talking to her. I'm like, no, I don't need you right now. Okay, let's flip that and see. Oh. That's not at all what I thought was going to happen. I'm going to flip it back. Let's undo that. And let's just stick here. I do like the idea of using the glow in the dark thread there. And so I need to really think about like how this is stitching out. I need to think through the pieces that I have here. So I had the white at the top and then the cow down at the bottom is white also. And what I think needs to happen is I think this little part at the top, let's make that a different color completely. Okay. And that way we can use, maybe we'll use our purple there. So we can get some purple in it. I want a brighter purple, but I don't want to, maybe that. I'll have to line up some threads. On screen, that does not look good to me. Let's try the pink. It doesn't look good to me because of this gray. Let's pick a different gray and then it'll be fine. Or let's just do that one in black. Okay, now I'm getting somewhere that I like. So we may have to go back from black. So pink, black, green. You can see in my color order, this is the colors of all these pieces up here. So we'll do purple, then black, then neon, then white for the cow, then black again for the cow's outline. And I think that actually works. I think that actually gives us some good things there. So I think, okay, so I think that's it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up the edge of that UFO, that side, and then, you know what, let's just do it here. This is the way I do it. Well, I got to clean it before I sort it and make 2 earrings like this, because I have to do it now. Otherwise, I'll be doing it twice. So I want this angle. I got to get him. So I took that one out. I don't want to take it out. I just want this edge to be a little bit blockier than, I want the stitches to come down and turn. So I need this one to be a line as well. I can't get that to turn. I think I may have to break it apart and get, you know what, that's what I'll do. So this is a piece that has to go, and I'll make that one line segment, and then I'll make this one a segment. I'm just redrawing those areas right there. That's a segment, and this is how I can get that turn right there that I want. Make that join at the beginning. Okay, see, now I have a good, see how that turns better? That's what I want to happen. So I can delete this part, and I can put this part back up here, because remember we ran from here down to do this loop. We started there, ended there, and so this one starts there, ends there, starts there, ends there, starts there, and ends back where it started. I want to make sure there's no texture. I just want that to be that, just like that. And then I think that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I wonder if this could be green. No, it can't be green because we still have to go back and forth. Yeah. Can we do the blacks, any of the blacks together? No. We could do the cow. I'm not drinking enough water lately. Sorry. Can we bring that cow? We can do all of the green last. So let's move all of that last. So I'm just putting that green section at the end. And that way my colors, see, I'm getting my colors closer together. And if I move the body of the cow up after the purple, then all of my black can stitch at one time. See, and now I only have 4 changes instead of 5 changes, which is less tedious. Let's zoom out. Let's keep looking at him. I'm kind of really wanting that spaceship to be silver. I know what we could do. I can use purple metallic thread for that top part. Or maybe I just get some purple neon thread for the lights and the tractor beam. So I'm looking to see if what happens if I make it silver. And these aren't silver threads. I'm just using a gray. But then what happens if they're all if these are all the same color? That's what I want to know. Oh, that's not bad. That could all be neon. I don't know. I'm going to have to play with the thread now and see. I think I like that better than the purple. I like that grayish, silvery. That could be silver. Then we'll do the white, then the black outlines, and then the neon. I think I'm going to stick with that. So I'm just going to show you the whole process, the whole thing, the whole deal. I got to give it a name and save it. I should have saved it. We're okay. I mean, it hasn't been a whole hour. You should save your work more often than this. DFO, DPD. We're going to call this UFO dangles. Dangle. These are freestanding lace. So let me put FSL in there so we know it's freestanding lace. FSL UFO dangle earrings. And that's a good name. That's a good name, isn't it? And then I'm going to select all these pieces. I'm going to copy them and paste them again. So I have another instance of it. Scoot it over a little bit, not too far away. And I'm going to mirror these. So it doesn't really matter, but the cows looking at each other might be visually make more sense than the other. My UFO isn't quite symmetrical, but that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's UFO. It's zooming off in space. We don't even know if they're real. Okay, now I need to sort my colors so I can get all of these pieces in the right order. So I've got some blue down here that needs to come up, this very light blue silver. So we're going to do all the silver first. Let's take it up to the top and put it right after the other one. So it goes down, down, down. And then we got to take our white cow and move him up with the other cow. So we got our 2 cows together. So we've got 1 cow and 2 cows. Then we've got all the black outlines, and we can move all of this so it can go right after these other black outlines. And I'm just going to drag them down all together. And then we're going to double check the order. So I try to always watch a stitch out first. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't change the out. Did I? I don't think I did. I did not change where that started. Yeah, I didn't. So the lace, this ended down here because it was gonna do the scoop at the bottom, but then I added the texture. So I got to do the lace that ends there, and I want it to end where the other one starts. So it needs to end there, so it doesn't have to jump, and then it goes up, then down, and then it needs to catch our loop. So it needs to run. So I got to do this twice because I have to do it over there too. It needs to run to the loop so it can start the loop, and that's just a single run. 2.4 is fine with me. And then catch, oh, it doesn't have to be that long because it starts on that side. It's fine. And then catch the loop, and then the loop, and then the, okay, that works. So I got to do it over here too, and it's backwards because we flipped it. So we've got that one. We've got the, where this one starts and stops. So this needs to end right there, and then start, stop, and then we need to run from the end of it to that loop right there. And it's got to be single. So 2.4. Ta-da, that's it. Okay, we've got 4 color changes. So we're going to do silver, then white, then black, and then our tractor beams. I think that'll work out great. Okay, now I'm going to center them in the hoop. Utility, center in hoop. I need to save these in the file somewhere. Save the working file as Designs by Baby Moon, Earrings, new folder. Hi. I'm making a video. Freestanding Lace UFO dangles. That's the folder it's going to be in. And it's going to let me access it. There we go. Okay. So I've got my working file saved. Now, if I need to make any changes, I need to do it in the working file. But I'm going to go ahead and do all the other parts that I do for a embroidery format. So that way they're already there. In case this is already ready, it's all done and I don't have to do anything else on the other side of it. So I'm going to File, Print. This gives us a color map that has 2 pages. It'll have the life size. It'll have the actual size template. So on the front page, as well as a list of the color changes of what stitches next. So we're going to print that. I'll show you what that looks like here. So I try to include those in most all of my files. It looks like this. So the first page is the template. That's the template. This is the center of your hoop, and it just shows where the whole design is oriented. So it's kind of a visual representation of that. And then the second page is the color map with the, it's going to stitch that top part. The part that it stitches is kind of highlighted or darkened. So this one is darkened, and it shows you that top part's silver. I can zoom in so you can see that better. And that silver color. Then the cow's going to stitch, then the black part of the spaceship in the cow outline, and then the green lights and the tractor beam are going to stitch. And then also shows you how many stitches it has. So it's got 1,100 stitches. So that's about 10, 12 minutes, depending on how fast your machine's going. 4 colors. If you've got a multi-needle, you can use 4 needles. And this is the size of it in inches. So the size of the whole file, depending on the size of jump rings you use, it'll be, bigger or smaller. I think these are fine. These are not too close and they're not too far apart. They'll stitch out okay. So see, there's some room there. And as it stitches, it kind of pulls in toward it. So the lines actually aren't that fat. And I'm going to save a picture of this, save the image, just so there's a PNG file. Some people like those. So I'm going to, what are they called? It's in U. I don't have a lot of designs that start with U. That's all right, UFO dangles. Save. And now let's batch export them. And that way it's just all done. If I have to do any editing, which I might, I would delete these original files. but I'll take one of the formats, probably the JEF file, because that's the one that people seem to have the most trouble with. If it works on that, it'll work on everything. And then I'll send it also. I may have some people test it for me too on different brands of machines. So I tested on at least 3 different brands, but my testers have other machines too. So that way we kind of know it hits most everything. So let's create, publish, and let's batch export them. And the last pair of earrings that I batch export were called Not Normal. Bet y'all knew that, right? Not Normal. Which is funny because I am making UFO earrings. UFO dangles. All right, it's exported. So I can look in that file and all the different formats will be in there that we need. That's it. That's what I did. So for an hour's worth of work, tomorrow when I'm, up and going, I'll test these out. We'll see what we got. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm just drawing. So my kids just went to bed and I got to get up at 6:30. So I should probably shut it down. But thanks for hanging out with me. Penny, hi. Yee. I'm glad you like them. They're really silly. They're pretty silly. Do you want to? Yeah, they're really silly. That is lace. So this is looking, so what you see on the screen isn't always what's going to happen there. It's an approximation. This cow is still looking like he's in a tatami stitch. I keep saying he, but when I take off the 3D effect, I can see that it is a lace texture. It's just the way the screen renders the stitches. And so it just, now it looks fine. It didn't look fine a few minutes ago. Anyway, now he's fine. Okay. There's those. That's what I'm going to test tomorrow. I'm going to test. I mean, I got other stuff to test too, but that's how I do freestanding lace, basically. And if you have other things that you want your UFOs to suck up, I have other cows. Like there's a cow wearing a Santa hat. There's an alien wearing a Santa hat. I don't have a tractor. I don't know if I could do a tractor. The tractor people are pretty protective of tractors. Like nobody's allowed to draw a tractor. I don't know. Maybe it won't have to be a green tractor. We'll see. I don't know what else these guys could suck up, but I think these go well with my Not Normal earrings and my alien Santa earrings. So anyway, a little bit of crazy, a little bit of fun, and I like to have fun. So I hope that y'all thought that was as fun as I did. I'm going to go to bed. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you later. Bye.